Morning, guys. Just gonna up early, gonna run a little bit of errands, and figured I'd try to bust out a message while I was on my mind. This is gonna probably tie into some of the earlier messages I had, guys. Alcohol is bad. Yeah, it's not good. I know a lot of people are gonna be like, well, duh, that's obvious, right? And yeah, obvious. I know it's pushed so hard. I mean, it really ought to be illegal, but it's pushed so hard in our advertising and marketing of everywhere. You can't go to a restaurant without it blasted in your face. You can't watch TV without it blasted in your face. You can't listen to the radio without an ad. In fact, I saw an ad for a local chicken place here in town, and the whole ad was just nothing but a bunch of college kids partying late at night with chicken fingers, and I mean, hey, I don't know their marketed, demographics or anything, or their revenue demographics or anything like that. So maybe drunk college kids are the only people that buy their chicken fingers, so that's what you should tailor the ads to. But I mean, anyway, I'm not their marketing director, but and I'll tell you guys and share a little bit of my insight as to why alcohol is bad. And believe it or not, it ties into this MK Ultra a little bit. Guys, alcohol does a thing to your brain. And it's really the people who know about this know, and that's why it works so effectively. It puts your brain in a wavelength that works really well for negative spirits to infiltrate your vessel. You ever seen anybody get blackout drunk and all of a sudden they're like a puppet now? Their looks change, their voice changes. You don't know what they're gonna do. And depending on what entity comes to them in that state is what you're gonna get. But let's add on to that, specifically with MK Ultra mind control. Just like how alcohol is so effective to get someone's brain in that wavelength to be taken over by a spirit, if you've gone through the programming and you have an altar that's partitioned in your mind, well, guess what? Alcohol does a really good job of calling that altar, getting it out of its cage. You ever notice whenever certain people drink, they get really promiscuous every time? You ever notice that? How about when certain people drink, they become really violent every time? That's because they've got specific altars in their mind to make them behave that way. And the alcohol opens it up. Now again, I'm not here to convince anybody of anything. You make up your own mind. It ain't my job to convince you. I'm just telling a story and relaying a message. And, I know that, I preach it in a way that, I've been there, guys. I've been there, and I had to learn better. And I'm going to tell you a story. A young man and his wife, before they had kids, they used to go out and party a good bit. They lived in a town that was a lot like New Orleans, but it wasn't New Orleans. And they'd go out to the bars and bar hop and just have a good old time downtown. And, eventually what ended up happening, the wife would get to a point where she'd start beating the crap out of her husband. It would just happen consistently. It was almost like you could call it. And it would be bad. Punching them, scratching them, fighting them in the car. Just all kind of stuff. Violence. And it got to the point where the husband was like, I'm going to leave if you can't get this together. Now, the husband wasn't perfect either. But he wasn't doing that. And the thing was, is the wife had some issues that alcohol was bringing up. And you know what? They stopped. And guess what? The violence stopped with it too. Funny how that works. Also, if you're trying to develop any kind of psychic ability or do any inner work, alcohol is going to mess that up. I mean, guys, anything that alters your brain chemical layout in any way is going to affect the pineal gland. It's going to affect it. Food affects it. A bad mood will affect it. So yeah, alcohol or any kind of substance will have a negative consequence on that. And I know some people will say, oh, well, you know, I dropped so-and-so and whatever, and it gave me an experience, and they're manipulating you. They're full of it. It didn't really give them that much of an experience. You know, people like that lie. So just gonna flat out tell you that's the truth on that one. But yeah, guys, hope y'all have a good day.